Hey guys, J&D Projects here. John's on the camera. We have this is part 2 of the restoration of this bellows. You'll remember, you can see part 1 to understand where it comes from and the age of it and that kind of stuff. What we're going to do today or tonight is there's a lot of dust and stuff on here, and just from the years of it being up there in the rafters. So we're going to clean it off as best as we can, and then we're going to start removing these tacks and getting this old fake leather off of here and kind of see what is on underneath. So John, do you want to set up the tripod so you can help too, or?
Yeah, sure, I'll go get it real quick.
Okay, so we're gonna cut off and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We're gonna get this dust off. I'm gonna very lightly kind of scrape to loosen this dust because there's a boatload of it. It's a lot of just farm dust and coal dust. John, you want to get the vacuum and see if you can't start vacuuming some of this?
Yeah.
Working?
No, it is. I was just gonna get this so I could get a closer shot up of it because I can't see very well.
We can put this over here. That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, since
How
we're
about
working
that?
over here, yeah.
Yeah. Move the camera a little bit. There we go. Okay, hit that, John. See if you can. Yeah, kind of turn it up like this and kind of go over it. Yeah. Sideways. Kind of have it so there's a little bit of an air gap. Like this. There's so much dirt down in these in this crack. See what you can do. There you go. Okay.
Hey, you got some exposed footage. Nice. All that dust got off right there.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that at least gets a little bit of the dust off, and you can see, let me come over here and show you. This is what the wood used to look like, apparently. If you can get a gander at that. They finished it out really nicely, but the years of coal dust and everything has just penetrated this, so it's going to take a little bit of work to get all of this cleaned up. So I guess what we'll do is we're going to start pulling these upholstery tacks out. And we got to get some tools ready for that, so we'll probably shut off and cut back on here in a minute, so we'll see you in a sec. Okay, so we're going to get this started now. I'm going to start loosening these tacks. And then John is going to pull them out. You probably will have to come over here to do that because you completely...
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
That's okay. We'll do one more.
It's kind of stuck to the leather. Can't really get it.
Having trouble?
Yeah, it's stuck to the leather.
Let me try it again. See if you can snatch it now. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's 2 out of about 300 that we have to do. So what we're going to do is, I think we will shut the camera off and catch back up with you when we've got most of these out. And we might even figure out a better way of doing it before we're done. So we'll be back with you.
If we do, we'll update you, by the way.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, so we'll be back in a minute.
Okay, guys, so we were working on this and we just discovered something. We think we need to show you this. So we pulled all these tacks out, and there's 2 layers to this fake leather. We looked at it, and the guy who did this before stapled everything.
Of the first layer.
Yeah, of the first layer that contacts the wood. So that's going to be tricky to get out. But
So we're going to pull the top layer off first, and then we're going to think about it before we start pulling these staples out, because we, you know, it's going to really, it could really mess up the wood if we're not careful. So we need to be super careful about that. So we're going to keep on pulling this out, and we'll check back with you in just a minute.
Okay, guys, so we were pulling these tacks out here, and that's when we showed you that this thing has been stapled there. And we pulled this flap off, and we pulled all of these tacks out that go all around here, and they just came off kind of like a bandolier, just kind of yanked off. The wood's okay, but I started taking the staples off here on the side, and this guy, he glued it. He glued this leather to this wood here, and that glue has really kind of hurt the wood in a way. Not really hurt the wood,
well, but yeah, I don't know what we're going to have to do there. We're going to have to be careful. We may do well, this wood's going to have to be refinished. It's got to get rehydrated first, and once we get it rehydrated and cleaned up completely, then we'll figure out how to maybe put a new finish on it. But yeah, we're going to need to do something there. I'm not exactly sure what. I mean, it's going to be covered up by the leather that we use. But
even the stuff you don't see, you need to do.
Yeah, but I want to show you something that I just found.
Here, take
no,
the camera.
you can use the camera. But I'm taking out these staples right here. We took this one flap off, took the upholstery tacks out, open it up. There's another layer. Well, I don't know if you can get in there or not, but do you see there's yet a third layer?
Oh,
so
man.
This wood has just been decimated with all these staples.
I know.
I know it's convenient to use those things, but
it's not the right way to do it.
I don't think it's really the best way to do this. So we're gonna see what we can do here.
Well, we're gonna sign off for right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see you in a second. Okay, guys. So we are giving you another update on this. We have taken, as you saw before, we have taken all the first and secondary seal off of the naga hide, off of the wood, so the top layer is completely free. We got all of this wrapping around the hinge and the nozzle all off. And now we are currently working on the secondary thing down here, the second stage.
Yeah, this middle
Middle ground, yeah.
And here's some of the tacks, and here are all these staples that we took out. Now
we came down here and we started recording at 5:15, and it's now 6:25.
And we just have the first round of the top piece of wood is free now. We're going to lift it up and show you guys what it looks like. And we have about half of the second stage done. So we have probably another hour or 2 hours just getting staples and stuff out.
Exactly.
So we're going to show you what it looks like, and we do have a bit of an issue. Let me come around here before we go. So this piece of wood right here, you can see that there's a step difference here in the thickness. We're going to fix that. It looks like that this is just a piece of pine. The original is oak.
And this broke off at some point, and he just slapped that on.
And he put this on. I mean, whoever did the restore, and you know, it is what it is. But I think we're going to remove this, and we've got plenty of thick cut rough sawn oak here in the shop, and we're going to fix that.
Fix it properly.
Yeah, fix it so it looks. That's not on there because it looks. I don't know. I just don't like the way that looks. Now we're getting ready to lift this thing up, John. Okay. You ready to lift it up?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so let's see what this thing looks like underneath now. So here it comes.
Oh wow!
Oh, look at that. There's what is that?
It's a plaque of some sort with lots of writing on it.
Wait a minute, hang on. Has it got names on it?
Yeah.
Cover them names up. Oh, I see you've already got them covered up. Okay.
I've covered the names.
Well, let's talk about what we see here first. What's this right here?
So this is
that's the upper flap, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the upper flap. You can see that well, you can't see, but when we took this down, there was a lower flap on the very bottom that lets air into the bellows.
Into the bottom bellows.
Into the bottom bellows. So what that does, it lifts up as the bottom bellows is coming down. That lifts up, lets air in, you pull it back up. This flapper for that air comes up like so, fills this lung up, and this is the only way of escape for the flow is from the top stage. It's the only way that
you're right. It's the only way it comes out. And that's the way that when you fill a double bellows up, that it'll keep sending air to the forge, even when you're not pumping.
Y'all didn't hear this work, but when it did, you could hear the thunk, 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 thunk of both flaps as you were.
You know, I take that back. I don't think that's oak.
No.
That is not oak.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that wood is, but...
That looks like pine, though.
That looks like pine, but you know what? So does this. So I'm not sure about this. We're gonna have to do some work on that, figure that out. But either way, we're gonna fix that, even if we have to go cut down a pine tree and dry it out ourselves and whatever we have to do. We're gonna fix that.
There is one thing down here. This doesn't open very much, which honestly is fine, but it's just a piece of metal.
Metal. Oh, that's cool.
Down at the bottom, it's a piece of paracord. We're gonna
fix that. We might go back with this. This looks more period to me. Now, what is the interesting thing about this? What does that say?
Okay, this says Bellows originally built circa 1850.
Our head interpreter will be very interested in that.
And it says overhauled July of 2000. So.
Okay, so it was overhauled about 23 years ago, and my goodness, 1850. This thing would have seen the Civil War, dude.
Yeah, I know, that's just amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
That's just amazing.
Okay, now there's a couple of other little things we found that, you know, so far that...
So it looks like they made a big old, I don't know, y'all can't see it, but this little wing up here, y'all saw, looks like they made just a big old spike, drove it down in here, drove it down through both layers, bent it around, and pushed it back through.
Okay, that's
a
typical.
Yeah, I know.
Is that square nail? Is that square or is that round?
It's a square nail.
Is that one square?
They made it. Somebody.
Oh,
made
that one's
it.
square too. So that's one of those. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's definitely period.
Now, of course, the screws.
Now, these screws
round
may
nail.
not be, and that round nail is not. Neither are these bolts.
Hey, at least he were to use a square bolt.
Did he use square?
Oh, so they used a square
Oh,
nut.
great. Square nut?
So that's at least better.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Now let's come back up here real quick. Help me let this down. This thing is heavy, dude.
I know it is. I mean, I had to do 3 of these.
Yeah. Okay. So the one thing that we don't really like here is this hinge. This hinge is not period, I don't believe.
No.
It doesn't look hand forged to me. We got to look at it a little more closely. But
oh, hey, these are wood pins that hold this together.
Are they wood pins?
Those are wood.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so this nozzle here, this end, this is all wood, and it is apparently fastened to the center board by wood pins, which I think is pretty darn cool.
On the side, somebody used a Phillips head screw to screw this metal nozzle off. We're gonna take that off.
Yeah, we'll redo that.
There is a section of this in the front that has broken out, so we're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. So there's gonna have to be a little bit of actual recreation done on the bottom part of this piece here. There's sort of a matching piece down below, so we're gonna have to work on that just a little bit, but we haven't gotten into that yet. However, you can tell very clearly it's not period because of there's a Phillips head screw right here. Now these straight screws here are more in keeping, but I still think they would have probably been using square nails back in the 1850s.
And this would have been a hand.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's not hand forged. I don't know.
It's not. Look at the ends. It's definitely most likely.
Okay. All right. Well, we can get into that later. Look at that. Get that off and look at it a little more closely. It might say "Made in China" on the back, and then we'll know for sure, won't we?
Yeah. Yeah. China wasn't too friendly back then.
I don't think China was making anything back then. It was part of the British Empire, I believe, back then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I don't know either.
Yeah.
All right, and so now this is definitely hand forged. This snout here, and that's really interesting. You can see. I don't know. I'm going to try to get close enough for you to see, but you can see right there. That's the end of the forge well seam. And it goes right back along right through there, all the way back. So that's really pretty awesome.
You know what? We went to Williamsburg recently and we talked to the gunsmith there, and they said it takes about 100 plus heats to do a barrel. Imagine how many heats that would take at that large thickness and at that large diameter piece there. That would have taken quite a bit of forge welding to do.
Yeah, you can feel the bottom of the forge weld down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So
a lot of talent.
Yeah, I believe that's been forge weld. I tell you what, when I look at it a little bit closer, I don't know, guys. Look at that right there. You can see those little bumps. That's evidence. That's evidence of MIG welding. I believe that may be a MIG weld right there, dude.
Yeah.
You see what I'm seeing?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm thinking that may be a MIG weld. What this may have been, it may have been broken or something, and that is definitely a forge welded part right there. Oh, you can see, look, the new weld starts right there. There is the original part of the weld, the forge weld, and it must have broken open. And so what they did was they just put a welder on it and just welded all the way back.
Oh, wow, you can see where they used like an angle grinder to grind all that off.
Yeah, they used an angle grinder there. You can see the grind marks. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Now, we're being kind of rough on this in our assessment.
We like to be as
period as possible.
As period as possible. I know there is some limitations, but there are solutions for some of these fixes that could have been more period.
Well, I think the thing you have to be careful of when you're working with something like this, I think this is the biggest and oldest restoration we've ever done.
Definitely.
I don't think we've ever done anything past 1850.
Yeah, we have worked on like a few old Civil War broken off blades, but
that's about it. So, but that's still the 1860s. Of course, the blade would have been made before then.
Yeah, probably.
But still,
yeah.
This is probably the oldest piece that we have worked on. It's also the biggest one, as I said, and you can't be you can't be period on every single thing. You do have to at some point make some judgment calls and make some exceptions, simply because there are some things that are just no longer available. That for instance, you know, wrought iron is very hard to come by. Now, the only wrought iron that exists for all intents and purposes is wrought iron that already is laying out in farmers' fields and stuff, or maybe somewhere else, but some kind of pre-1920s farm equipment or some other kind of decorative item or whatever. That's about it. Now, there are a couple of places that I think there's a place in England that might still make it, but boy, it's expensive.
They actually don't make it. They harvest it, and they'll send a bundle to you. They send you a $20 bundle, but then you have to pay $100 shipping to get it to the U.S. because it's
so expensive. Yeah,
I think you get like 20 or 30 pieces of 5-foot material.
I see.
So
any rate, you know, so there's sometimes you have to make exceptions. You know, I think though that by doing putting your due diligence in, though, you know, you can maintain and preserve the dignity of the piece of whatever it is. I realize inanimate objects don't really have dignity, but I'll tell you what, whoever made this back in 1850 did have dignity. It was a human being, and they were craftsmen, and you can tell by the way look at these cuts here. You can see just on this piece of wood alone, they're coming together are 3-4 different surfaces, different angles. There's the top, there's this angle, there's this initial angle, and then there's yet another angle that goes on down.
And then these angles that had to be notched out, these two pieces.
And then notching out, yeah, you can see there's yet more angles. All of this was done pretty much by hand. They didn't have Ryobi cordless drills and all of. Okay, folks, we got everything off. We'll show you real quick what we've done. Well, one of the big problems with this thing is that this ferrule right here, this wood ferrule, has got several breaks in it. And here's one of the big breaks right here. I think you can see that big chunk that's broken out. That's where a lot of the air was losing. We were losing a lot of air from there. And then here's the other place. This is the biggest problem we have, is its bottom plate is completely broken in half. And this is a wrought iron hook.
We kind of showed you that when we took it down.
And these are not nails. These are actually rivets. So we are not going to disturb that. But I think we've got a part of a plan on how to fix this. So we'll update you more as we go along there. There was a filter that somebody put in here aftermarket right here, and
did nothing to help.
It really didn't do anything to help, and it doesn't look all that good. I really don't think we even need it. The only thing that, well, we could talk about that later. We're running out of battery on our GoPro, so let's show the bladder, John, and then here's all the hooks that we got out. And
no, there's not all the brads here because we did peel off a lot of strips that just
we
had
did
the brads
all these
in it.
strips here. Just show you one of them as an example. So see, a lot of the brads stayed in there when we pulled that off. So that's not all of the brads by any stretch of imagination. There's probably 300 of them here all together. And we're going to make square head tacks to go back on.
Okay guys, before we sign off, we just wanted to show you, this is the entire Naugahyde bladder that was on there. It is quite big. You can tell that it is definitely not real leather. So, that's it for now. J&D Project signing off.